think of famous systems throughout NFL history, you typically think of offenses like the Patriots with Tom Brady cerebrally making checks at the line and slicing you up with precision, or Bill Walsh and Joe Montana running the West Coast offense to perfection. On defense, you might think of Pete Carroll running his simplistic, lightning-quick cover 3 zone with the Legion of Boom flying all over the field, or Buddy Ryan's 46 defense putting everybody on the line and causing complete and utter chaos. These systems allow for players and coaches to be in lockstep so they can execute at their maximum capacity while confusing the opposition. When you think of these systems, you think of innovation, creativity, and diversity, which is why Joey and Nick Bosa are so fascinating. Not only are they some of just a handful of players who operate within their own system, but that system isn't innovative, creative, or diverse. No, the Bosa system relies on just a couple of moves that all look exactly the same. Both of the brothers went to Ohio State, where defensive line coach Larry Johnson taught them a system of moves where each move sets up the next. If the O-lineman does X, we do Y, and that simple philosophy in this system has made them really good. Joey the Older has terrorized the league since he was drafted 3rd overall back in 2016. That season he won Defensive Rookie of the Year, and since then he's been to 3 Pro Bowls, one of which was last year when he had 7.5 sacks and 27 quarterback hits in just 12 games. Nick the Younger entered the league just 2 years ago when he was drafted 2nd overall. He also won Defensive Rookie of the Year, in which he had 10 sacks, 18 quarterback hits, and 80 pressures, which was 14 more than any rookie in NFL history. He started hot against the Cardinals, but then in week 2, he unfortunately tore his ACL, but looks to be back full force in 2021. In a league where coaches and teams have innovative and diverse systems, what makes the Bosa system, which is based on similarity, so effective? We'll answer that question in a sec and dive way into their toolbox of moves. But first, I want to tell you guys about this week's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy, which, with the season fast approaching, is the only way to draft. I have legit been using Underdog's app all offseason to draft all my guys in best ball drafts. Best ball takes your best lineup every week and automatically puts the top scores in, so there's no bench, no waiver wire, no hassle. Underdog does all the work. And why they're really special, they're offering you a free shot at $1 million. They recently launched their biggest fantasy football tournament ever with $3.5 million in prizes, and first place takes home that $1 million. If you sign up now with my coupon code Rollins25, you get $25 free, which is exactly how much the entry fee is for the tournament. Just head over to UnderdogFantasy.com or download their super easy to use app, and once again, use my code Rollins25 for your free shot at $1 million. Alright, back to the action. While there are many parallels in their backgrounds, there are even more in their system of identical looking moves, which all rely on the word of the day, similarity. Coach Johnson teaches this very system to every Buckeyes pass rusher, which essentially has just 4 moves all designed to take advantage of whatever the O-lineman is or isn't giving you on a play. Inside side scissors, outside side scissors, a bull rush, and a forklift. Before we get into each of those, we first need to break things down from the beginning, their alignment and their get-off. Both Bosas can play on either side of the formation, although Joey typically lines up more from the left and Nick more from the right, and their respective coaching staffs do excellent jobs of putting them in positions to succeed. Their system of moves works best when they're aligned way outside, so they can use their speed and a lot of space to overwhelm the tackles. Both usually align in wide 9 techniques, which puts them outside of the tight end, or where the tight end would be, and just aligning this far away terrifies the tackle he'll get beat to the edge before the play even starts. Joey and Nick each have explosive get-offs. Joey's is probably a little bit faster, but this first step is crucial. Threaten the outside with a speed rush path to force the tackle to overextend, and then everything else works off of that. To sell the outside move even more, if you watch closely in each of the next few clips, both Bosas are athletic and bendy enough to throw their shoulders outside to sell the speed rush even more, and then can transition back inside. Basically, each of them set up the lineman with their alignment and get off and sell outside up until a certain point in the rush. Then from there, they can react and do whatever they'd like. The first move we'll look at, which they of course both use, is inside side scissors. Side scissors is what Coach Johnson refers to as a double swipe move, which is what Nick is doing with his hands here, and it's pretty effective. He starts in his wide 9 alignment way outside the tackle DJ Humphries, and his first step is as powerful as it is quick. It's directly upfield towards the QB and Humphries' outside shoulder, and now watch Nick's body. Just like his brother, his shoulders shift outside to sell the speed rush, which makes Humphries take one extra step, which is all Nick needs. What separates the Bosas is their ability to get to a certain point in the down where they can then use any of their moves, and it's this step right here, where they can go in, out, or through you. When Nick sees Humphries' hands start to come up, and that there's a lot of space inside, he uses the inside side scissors where he swipes both hands at the elbow forearm area, leaving Humphries in the dust. Coach Johnson's system preaches dynamic movement to create space and fear early in the down, and then when the lineman shoots his hands in a last-ditch effort to stop the rush, the side scissors move seals the deal. And watch Kyler Murray on this play. This is one-step quick game where he's throwing a 6-yard spot route, and he can't believe how quickly Nick just hit him. When tackles start to set further inside out of fear of the inside side scissors, or just generally if the Bosas have been setting up the outside move throughout the game, that's when outside side scissors comes into play. You can see Joey's explosive get off the very instant the ball is snapped. His 0.8 second get off is one of the very best in the league, which threatens all-pro tackle Mitch Schwartz immediately. Joey throws his head and shoulders outside and up the field, but then from there, watch his ability to bend back inside to make this look like a power bull rush straight through Schwartz, or perhaps the inside side scissors. Similar to how he naturally throws his shoulders outside upfield, he now throws them and his head back inside to free Schwartz. Then when he knows Schwartz can't recover and is just going to kinda hang his arm out there as a last resort, he uses outside side scissors to flatten that edge and would have a sack if Mahomes wasn't, Mahomes. You can tell how just uneasy he makes Schwartz feel. He looks like he's expecting the bull rush when he settles his feet, shoots his hands, and dips his head. And Joey knows he has him completely guessing, which sets up his next move just 1 minute later. From here, the Bosa system fits into a tidy box with answers for everything. Coach Johnson teaches that when the tackle has had his arms knocked away with side scissors and doesn't want to keep playing the hands game, so he drops them, that'll then expose his chest, and it's time to bull rush to make him pay. Again, Joey has a great get off and charges straight forward, then he throws his shoulders upfield and gives Schwartz the exact same look he just gave him the play before. Schwartz knows he just faked the bull rush inside and then went out, so he figures if he just keeps his hands low, there'll be nothing for him to swipe. But when Joey sees those low hands, he transitions all his speed into power and punches Schwartz straight back to blow up the play. The bull rush is deadly in part because it's just a great move and Joey's really effing strong, but also because of how similar the Bosas make it look to the other moves in the collection. When tackles shoot their hands, you swipe them away, and when tackles keep their hands low so you don't swipe them away, you strike their open chest and shove them straight back. Nick is also extremely proficient with the bull rush and has a little more power than Joey, but he is really good with his hands and hand placement and can use the forklift technique instead of the bull rush when he feels like it's necessary. You can see he's just a little slower off the ball than his brother, but still starts with the same great first step and shoulder fake upfield, and when he sees Humphries' hands are low and his chest is exposed, he could bull rush if he wanted, but instead grabs his wrists and lifts them straight into the air to completely throw him off balance. Offensive linemen transfer all of their energy from their body through their arms and hands into their punch, so if you can grab their hands, they lose all of their power and balance. Now, in terms of which of the two is better, that is a loaded question. Obviously, Joey's been playing longer, so he's a bit more refined and developed and has even gotten to experiment more outside of the traditional toolbox. And at this point in time, he's more of a complete player in terms of all the other little things he can do, like defending the run, understanding what offenses are trying to do to block him, like how he's getting chipped, and then also things like reading formational tendencies, or being able to squeeze and pop in the zone read game and essentially play the back and the QB. His game has fewer holes than his brother's, and while I think he is more athletic, you can see some of the times where he doesn't quite have that same ceiling as Nick. For him, he's really only going into his second season since last year didn't count, so he still has a lot to learn, but he is a bit stronger and more compact, which makes his movement more efficient, and he has a better feel for getting to the quarterback, which gives him that higher ceiling. But he's not refined in those ways that Joey is. Yeah, they're pretty much on par rushing the passer, but Nick doesn't feel when he's getting chipped very well. He can get lost with misdirection and isn't nearly as good at processing what the offense is doing, at least not yet. Right now, I'm taking Joey over his brother because of the wider breadth of experience he's had in this league, but over the long term, I'm taking Nick. What's exciting about the both of them is how they'll continue to rep and refine this system of moves to make them almost unstoppable. The system in which these two operate needs just the 4 moves, arguably only 3, to dominate the competition. And because everything looks identical that first moment of the play, it's super difficult for the offensive lineman to figure out what is happening. You know the Bosas are special because each of their moves could be deadly independent of the others. But when you create a system where each of those elite moves also sets up the next, it's incredibly challenging for whoever lines up across from them. Those systems in football are all about advancing and staying ahead of the other side of the ball. The similarity and simplicity that Coach Johnson's system preaches are also extremely effective in other areas of the game. Offenses who can do many things out of one formation, wide receivers who can make all of their releases look the same at the line. But what separates the brothers is they do it as pass rushers. The exciting thing about Nick and Joey Bosa is that their toolbox of moves was already established long before they even got to the NFL. So since they were freshmen at Ohio State, they've been repping the same 4 moves over and over, which has only made them better and better, and they'll continue to practice and perfect them every single day for the rest of their careers. Brother to brother, system to system, elite talent to elite talent. What is to stop them from being legendary? Thank you to everybody for watching this week's episode, and just to everybody in general who's been supporting this channel coming up on our 3rd NFL season, which is crazy. I am absolutely pumped that the season is about to start, but first I'll be taking a week off to recharge the old mental health so we can do some awesome stuff when everything actually gets started up. All the support and the community on here for everybody we get to interact with, none of this could be done without all of you, and you guys are really a testament to everything that's happened with this channel, so thank you. I'm really excited. In a few days, I'll be flying to Nashville, where a guy from my high school fantasy football league is doing the Waffle House Challenge. Pretty amped to see that. And then I'll be back for the start of the season with a new episode every Saturday, just like before. So thanks again to everybody, and until, I guess, a week from Saturday, see ya.